What's happening? Oh, you're just dribbling? Oh, that's no good. Oh, hello YouTube. You caught me in the act of pilfering a glass of cider from my homebrew keg. However, there's not enough pressure in the keg to make the beer, or the cider in this case, come out of the tap. And before I get any air bubble back into this keg, which will spoil things, I'm going to need to pressurize it with a bit more CO2. Welcome back to The Life's Good. This is my channel. I'm AJ, and I'm currently in my little den, my little bungalow here in Northumberland, and I'm cooking tea, and I fancied a glass of cider whilst I was cooking tea, and lo and behold, no pressure in the keg, and all I managed to get was this bit. So I'm going to show you what I use to pressurize this keg, or all my kegs in that matter, whenever I do get the circumstances where in fact the CO2 pressure inside drops to a level where the air on the outside will in fact bubble back in through the tap and go inside the keg. Now you don't want that to happen. Firstly, with a tap at the bottom of the keg, air bubbling in there can disturb any sediment in the bottom, which will mix up into your beverage. And the other thing is that the air can bring in impurities, and you may get all manner of problems with mold and what have you on the surface of the brew inside your keg. So we need to make sure it's got CO2 sitting on the surface, and enough CO2 to force that liquid out of the tap when you release it and into your glass. Stick around and I'll show you what I use. Well, I hope you can see these okay. They appear to be in focus. I've got a couple of these little plastic adapters which have a screw thread in this end, an opening on one side, a small slot on the other, and they have these wings effect on the side. And what you do with these is you insert a canister of CO2 gas in the big slot with the opening at the bottom poking through here, and you screw this onto the valve fitting on top of your keg. I buy these boxes of CO2. I hope my hands aren't in the way there. You get 10 in a box in this case. You can buy alternative packets from different suppliers. I happened to purchase these from Amazon a few months ago. They're very, very handy. It's just a little canister. I'm just trying to read on here if it tells me the actual volume. I think it's something like 10 milligrams or something of that ilk. 10 ounces? It's 10 something or other. But yes, so these you insert into this plastic housing, and you put this on top of the housing on the top of your keg. Now you've got that very big cap on your keg, especially with a 4-inch keg. You've got a big cap, and it's got that valve in the middle, usually made of brass or something similar. And this thread actually attaches to that valve, and you use these wings to wind it around. It engages on it engages on the top, and the bottom of these bottles has got like a seal at this end, and there's a little pin in the middle of the valve that pierces that and allows the gas in here to be ejected into the keg. Now it's a bit dark in my cupboard, but I'm going to turn you around and show you how I attach this arrangement to the top of my keg. Right, now you're looking at the top of the keg in question. This keg contains cider, my homebrew, and it's got about a quarter of a keg left in the bottom. Now on this occasion what's happened is there's no more CO2 pressure in the keg that's been produced by the fermentation to force the liquid out of the tap when I turn on the tap to get myself a glass of drink. So in the middle of the cap is this brass valve. Now this is actually a safety valve. If the pressure in the keg becomes too great, the valve allows that pressure to be released, avoiding any nasty explosions and beer and cider being thrown all over your room and your cupboard. So that is a safety feature. It's a valve, it's a safety valve. However, it does double up as a way of adding CO2 to the keg in the event that the pressure in the keg has dropped sufficiently that it's not allowing the liquid to be decanted through the tap. So, as I showed you, we've got this little plastic gadget which screws directly on top of that valve. And I've inserted the cartridge, and I did check, and it's a 10 milliliter cartridge. So there's about 10 milliliters of CO2 in that cartridge. And now, if I can do this without cross-threading it, and that's always important, do not cross-thread these, you will damage the plastic and you could damage your valve. So make sure it sits on nicely and it winds down quite easily, which it's now doing. So it's all assembled there. Using those wings, I'm turning this around and you will hear the gas go into that keg. It does sometimes have a bit of a whistle and a hiss, and you know when that has happened. It's going tight, getting tighter. There we go. Now all the CO2 in that canister, and in fact that feels really cold. It's ice cold now. That is coldness created by the gas being exited through this cylinder, like an aerosol in effect. So that is now nice and tight on the top of there. So if I lower you down to the tap and pour myself a drink, you will see now that that will come out a lot better than the dribble I was getting earlier on. Well, there's quite a bit of shadow in this corner being created by the lighting in my kitchen, so I do apologize for that, and I'll do my best now to reach forward, and I've got my trusty glass and I'm going to put it underneath the tap there. And I'm sure if you look back in my videos you'll see I made these little drip trays from 2-litre pop bottles, just cut out the front, hole in the back, and it sits over the tap, so any drips from the tap get caught in the bottom of the bottle drip tray. Just pointing that out as I'm here, guys. So if I get my glass under there and press that tap gently, we get a really nice flow of cider, just like that. It's not cloudy, guys. It's actually the CO2 bubbles in the liquid. They are dispersing, and you can see through my fingers through this. This is a lovely, crystal clear, appley cider. I think I made it from a Muntons kit. I'm not entirely certain. I'd have to check that for you as well. But a lovely glass of home-brewed cider, and the CO2 injection has saved the day, so I am now able to decant a few beers, ciders in this case, from my keg and finish that off quite nicely right down to the last drop. You can leave the valve attached to the top of the keg if you wish, but once the gas is in there, the safety valve will hold it in place, and you can remove that plastic fitment and put it away ready for when you need it again. So you don't have to leave it on at this point. Once the CO2's in the keg, you can remove it, put it away, and you're back to square one with your kegs in your cupboard or in your pub or wherever. And I think it'd be rude for me not to taste this cider and drink your health. Well, here's to your good health, everybody. Let's have a little taste. Oh, really lovely, very appley cider. It's crystal clear, absolutely gorgeous. It's got a sort of a golden syrup colour to it. It's really, really lovely. And I'm going to enjoy this while I'm cooking my tea. These gadgets, very cheap to purchase. You can get them in various outlets, your homebrew stores. I think I got mine on Amazon or eBay or some such site. The little bottles, the 10 milliliter bottles of CO2 come in packs. You can buy a larger pack, I believe. Have a look around if you need something like this. Ideal for these kegs. I think these bottles used to be supplied for the soda streams of years ago. Whether they use the same size bottle now or not, I don't know. You need to check that out. But this arrangement saves a day for me every time. No pressure. Whack one of these on, pressure's back in, and I can carry on partying. Well, look, thanks so much for popping in and watching me play around with my keg today. I haven't been back on the plot. The weather up here has been atrocious. We've had a few other family things going on, and I haven't been able to make a video for nearly 3 weeks. So I'm in the kitchen tonight. This was happening. I thought I'd share it with you guys. The pub in the pantry, another video from a homebrew. Somebody did ask me whether I'm still homebrewing. One of the comments on one of my videos, someone said, "Are you still homebrewing, AJ?" And absolutely yes, I am still homebrewing. I always do. And as we're doing this, I've got some apple, red onion and red pepper chutney being produced on the stove, and I'm in the process of making myself a beef in black bean sauce for supper tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, AJ's been busy. I'm still here. I'm home brewing, and I'm going to be gardening when the weather's right and I can get myself on that little plot and get cracking with that. And anything else I'm up to, I'll try and share with you guys. So whatever you're doing, you take care, you be safe, look after one another, come back and see us soon. Oh, and don't forget, all those usual things. Hit the like button, share it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It'd be great to see you on board. Look after yourselves. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.